Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of AdMail. This is Adam Bergman, founder and CEO of IRA Financial. I'm here to help you find the answers to the most frequently asked questions from my clients about self-directed retirement accounts. If you want to learn more, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on social media. Just search IRA Financial. Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of AdMail. I'm Adam Bergman, tax attorney and founder of IRA Financial. And on today's episode, this question is from Jerry G. And this question is, I have to complete a W-9 form for my self-directed IRA LLC. What name do I use? So this is a great question that I get quite often. And just to start, what's a W-9 form? W-9 form is not a tax return. It's just an information return to essentially prove that you're not a foreign person. So if you do an investment in the United States and you're a foreign person and there's no tax treaty between the foreign jurisdiction and the United States, technically the investment provider / vehicle is required to hold back 30%. That's called backup withholding. Why? Pretty obvious, right? The IRS is basically saying, hey, we don't have connections with that jurisdiction, so we better take our tax money now, because if we don't, we're never seeing it again, because we have no jurisdiction. There's no reciprocal rights under a treaty to go after these people. So they want to grab their money now. Now, in the case of an IRA, don't have to really worry about a foreign person. Why? Because IRAs are U.S. persons. So there's two different ways to fill out a W-9. And it depends on if your LLC that's owned by the IRA is a single member LLC or partnership, multiple member. A single member LLC is treated as a disregarded entity for tax purposes. It means it's a tax nothing. So on line 1 of the W-9, you do not put the name of the LLC, but you put the IRA. So for example, IRA Financial Trust Company for the benefit of Adam Bergman IRA. That would be on line 1. You would then on line 2 leave it blank. Line 3, under the exempt payee code, you put a 1. Box 4, you can put an A under the FATCA code, even though the IRA may not be involved in foreign investments, you can still put the A there. Use the address of the LLC. Well, actually, you can use the address of the LLC even in single member or multiple member LLCs. And you would use the tax ID number of the IRA, not the LLC. So this trips up a lot of people. Single member LLCs, an IRA owns 100% of an LLC. The instructions on the W-9 are clear. Line 1 needs to be the name of the IRA, and then you're going to use the corresponding tax ID number of the IRA or the IRA custodian. You do not use the IRA LLC or the LLC tax ID number. Use the tax ID number of the IRA if it has one specifically, or the IRA custodian. And then you can sign the W-9 as the manager. Whereas if you have a multiple member LLC, or the LLC is owned by 2 or more parties, i.e. 2 IRAs, line 1 would be the name of the LLC. You would not use the IRA name, you would use the LLC name because it's a partnership. It follows a 1065 return. You then use the address of the LLC. You can also put in box 3, 1, again, exempt payee code, box 4, an A, and you use the tax ID number of the LLC, not the IRA. So that's the distinction. Of course, sign it as the manager of the LLC. So that's the main difference between a single member LLC and a multiple member LLC when doing the W-9 if you have an IRA. If it's just an IRA investment and they want you to fill out a W-9, then it's like the single member LLC, although you're not going to use the address of the LLC because there's no LLC. Use the address of the IRA custodian, and then you can have the IRA custodian or you can sign it as the IRA owner. Again, it's not a tax return. It's just to prove to the investment provider / the manager of the investment fund that, hey, I'm a U.S. person, so don't take away 30%. It's backup withholding. But Jerry G of Tulsa, great question on using a W-9 with an IRA LLC and how to complete it. Very good question. So don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And I will talk to everyone again next week.